Welcome back to another Aero Dragon Labs video. My name is Aiden, and this is the instruction manual for the Starlance kit. And I actually made two of these. I'm going to be doing a giveaway on my Discord, so definitely click the link in the description to join the Discord server, and then you can find the details about the giveaway. So, without further ado, let's get into the instruction manual. This is basically everything that comes in the kit. You get a bunch of paperwork, so a checklist, a lore sheet, and an instruction manual. And then you get a business card, and then onto the parts of the kit, you get the upper section, the lower section, and the nose cone. And then you get 4 feet of 300-pound Kevlar cord for the shot cord, the body connector, the motor tube, 3 fins, and then 3 pods, along with the motor retention, paint, and a paintbrush. Aside from what comes in the kit, all you really need is glue. We recommend E6000 or clear Gorilla Glue, and then a pair of scissors and some paper towels to paint on. Alright, so step number 1 is to take the bottom section and the motor tube, and we're going to glue it in. Alright, the next step is to tie a knot in one end of the shot cord and to feed it into the little hole here in the body connector so that you've got a nice mounting point. Once we've glued the shot cord in to the body connector, we're going to take the upper section, we're going to put a little bit of glue in the top, and then we're going to feed the body connector onto the top of that. Then we're going to take this shot cord and feed it through the rocket so that we end up with a nice shot cord, and then we can wipe around the edges and let that fully dry. Okay, with those two main parts glued, we're going to set the gluing assembly aside to pretty much fully dry, and we're going to start painting. There's a lot of details on this kit, so it pays to take your time painting, but you get I can't remember, this is 5 milliliters of gold paint, and the details on the nose cone get painted along with these 3 pods. So we're going to start there. Okay, with the lower section fully dry, now we can add the upper section to the lower section. So we're going to take the glue and glue it on, like by adding some glue around these 4 spots. And it doesn't matter if you want to connect these 2 sections first or if you want to add the fins first. It really comes down to preference. You can do it either way. I'm just going to glue on the 2 together. So you can glue pretty much everywhere. You just want to make sure that the glue doesn't go into the tube, and you're going to want to wipe off any excess around the base. So press it together and then get your paper towel and wipe off around the bottom or the connection. The less glue you get here, the better, but it's fine if you do a little bit. And so now we're going to go ahead. So now we'll set this aside and let it dry completely before we add the rest, add on the fins. All right, with the main section almost all the way dry, we can move on to gluing on the fins. So this is the front of the rocket. This right here is the porthole, and this is the part of the rocket you want to be able to see when it's on the pad. The order in which you put the fins in doesn't matter, technically. They can all go in any of the 3 slots. But the one with the launch lug, if you put this, the one with the launch lug, on the very back, it makes it easiest so that you can see the front of the rocket when it's on the launch pad. So you don't have to put it there. You can put it in whatever orientation you want, but I recommend putting the launch lug fin on the back of the rocket. So what we're going to do is just take our glue along the root, and then you can glue over here and over here, just whatever. If you put too much glue, you're gonna have to wipe it off. So it slots right in. You might have to sand somewhat some spots. Sometimes the fin needs a little bit of sanding to get it in there, but for the most part, you can just push it right in. Or if you put it in like this, yeah, there we go. And then it goes right in, and you're good to go. And then you can take your paper towel and just wipe along that slot. And whoops, the base of the rocket wasn't fully dried, so I'm gonna have to push that back together and let it dry the rest of the way. It's definitely important to let that thing dry all the way because it does like to come apart. So I'm going to grab a clamp and clamp it on. All right, with that pressed together, we can put on the rest of the fins. So again, glue along the root, and then a little bit of glue on the top parts. And then it will slot right in. And then you can take paper towels and wipe around the edge, like so. Now that the glue is finally dried, the last 3 steps are to glue on the pods, paint the rest of the accents, and then tie the shot cord onto the nose cone. Tying the shot cord onto the nose cone is really easy. It helps if you use your scissors, almost like tweezers, or if you have tweezers actually, to just pull that through and then tie a knot. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's just meant to keep the nose cone attached to the parachute, to the rest of the rocket. And then you can take the cord, do one of these, make a loop, and then that's where you'll attach your parachute. So it's really easy. That step is really easy. The other 2 steps are gluing on the pods and the paint. So I'm going to do the paint first, and then I will show you how to glue on the pods. To add the pods, what we're going to do is we take the glue, and in this little hole we can add a little bit of glue. We don't want a ton. And then we can take this, the other end of the paintbrush, and we can spread it around in there. And then we can take it, and it goes right here, like that. And then if you turn the thing upside down, gravity will hold them on long enough for the glue to dry. So I'm going to do that with the other 2. And then wipe away the extra glue around the edges. Alright, and once this all dries, your kit is completely done. You have these 3 screws and Z-clips that go inside these 3 holes on the fins, and then that holds your motor on. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I know I certainly had a ton of fun designing the Starlance kit. If you guys want to pick up one for yourself, definitely check the link in the description below. There's a link to my Etsy shop where you can buy one of these. If you use code STARLANCE, the first 5 kits that sell will get 20% off. And then check out the Rocketeer. He is the inspiration behind this design. He helped me troubleshoot and test. So check out the Rocketeer. And then also definitely join the Discord because there is a giveaway, because I did make a second one. You guys will be able to, whoever wins the giveaway will be able to pick between the finished Starlance rocket, or if they just want me to send them a kit, I'll do that too. So without further ado, never forget to ignite the skies, and I'll see you at the launch field.